Okay guys, in this tutorial I just wanted to walk you through the process of making this. This is the grip piece that we're working on in class, and I wanted to just follow through with a little tutorial on how to use the linear array tool here to get this thing to do this. So I'm going to go and just go File, Open, and say no. I'll just open up the original file that we had in class. Just right as we left class, we had finished making this surface here. And that was the surface from a network curve. If you remember, we had these purple curves here, and we had built this network of two top and bottom profile curves with a series of ribs around the center, kind of building the cage, they call it. So with the network surface built, we're now ready to chop this thing up. So we just want to confirm that it's solid, first of all, and if I hide some of the other surfaces, I'll see that the top is still open. So I want to go ahead and just cap that. Take this and this. And I have these curves kind of left over from the last time I had to cap the bottom. So I'm going to just push them right into position, and I'll just grab my loft tool, and I'm going to use a trim tool to use. This is the surface to trim, and that will get trimmed out. And then I'm going to do another trim. Someone's at the door. I'm going to do another trim using this surface. Let's see if we can grab it. That surface is the trim tool, and that's going to trim off just the top. Escape. And then we're going to group all that together. This plus this. That's all grouped now. And so it's a solid. Once everything is enclosed, watertight, grouped together, then you have a solid in Rhino. So now we can start using the solid modeling tools, like the Boolean union tool is what we're going to use for this next. So I'll turn off my curves, and we're just going to look at just this extra stuff layer that I have here. Turn that and turn that off, and we'll go to the right view here, and I just want to get a control point curve to run right along the edge of those ribs there, and just kind of trace out what you think they're supposed to look like when they get trimmed out from the tool. So select that curve if you need to edit it, and turn the points on, and we want to stretch it out past the body of the sprayer pretty far. And then the other thing I'm going to do also is I'm going to take a polyline here and just extend out a set of line work that will enclose this sketch into an enclosed form. Hit escape, and then join that curve and this larger curve together into one. And we're going to use this curve later, kind of like a saw blade, to cut through the surfaces we're going to create to make those ribs. So let's just do a little bit more organization. This curve, sorry, we'll do that in perspective. We'll go one, these curves here that we used for trimming earlier, or they can go on the curves layer where they belong. And there you go. So one more thing to do is going to be to turn on our images here and grab a rectangle. And I want to draw a rectangle that's just as wide as the gap between those ribs. Just draw it small, and then use the gumball to stretch it out. Okay, and rotate it so that it matches up with the model. And go right in here and just line it up with the very first cut. Okay, make sure it's long enough that it overlaps into this enclosed form we just drew, and it sticks out quite a bit too. Go to extrude straight, grab this rectangle, and in perspective view you can do this. It's probably easier. Just extrude out a surface that cuts through both sides of the model, but make sure that when you do that extrusion that you do a solid extrusion. See how I can see right through this? I don't want that. I'm going to say undo. I'm going to do two things right now, actually, guys. I'm going to go back to my right view, and I'm going to get a straight polyline, and I'm going to put a polyline right at the end of this, and I'm going to drop it down about a 1/2 millimeter. Quarter, it's like more like 3/4, but that'll be that. Yeah, like that. And then perspective view. That curve is going to act as a construction line for later when we do the linear array and we want to have a guide for the linear array to point itself in the right direction. We're going to use that curve. Okay. And if you're confused by that, it just means, you just got to practice doing this a lot of times. This is my 4th run at this attempt here, so I'm getting it down, and this is the best way I've found to get the linear array to go in the right direction. It's finicky, it'll go a lot of different ways for you. So anyway, grab your extrude straight tool and get that rectangle, extrude it in 2 directions. So look at the command line. It should go both sides yes, solid equals yes, not no. Also, everything else looks good, so don't go too crazy with this thing. I mean, keep it manageable, but slice it all the way through the handle. And then go to linear array. It's right underneath rectangular array. It's right there, linear array. Select the box you just made. Hit enter. You're going to make about 60 of them, so just type in 60. Okay, and then it's going to ask you, give me the first reference point. Now that means this goes back to that curve we just were talking about a second ago. So this is the part where we're going to use that curve. When the linear array gets turned on, it says, give me a reference. Tell me which direction to go. Where do you want me to start? Where do you want me to end? So you have to tell it. I want you to start going in this direction, and you snap onto the end of this point, and then you snap on to the bottom. Make sure you have object snap and end point turned on here. There we go. Right at the end point, and it's going to put all those right in the right direction because of that little piece of line work. It all goes in the right way. Kind of. Looks like we could even get a little bit more of a gap in between there. Let's try something else. Undo. Grab this line. Show the points. Grab this. Go straight down. Perfect. Okay. Then we're going to go up here. Grab linear array. Linear array this. That. Go 1, 2. There we go. We want kind of a nice gap in between there. Let's compare that to the image. I think we're going to have to go a little bit thicker. Yeah. Okay. Keep going. Let's do this one more time. Image off. Undo, undo, undo. There we go. Linear array. This thing is to array. And, oh, sorry. First we have to move the sketch. Grab this. Points on. Get the point. Move it down a little. And then go up here and grab linear array. Hit enter. First reference. That looks a little bit better. Okay. Anyway, let's go from that. And next thing to do is going to be to grab all of these different duplicates as one and then group them using the group tool. And then you're going to grab extruded straight again, and you're going to use this sketch. Remember this one we drew before? Use that sketch, extruded in 2 directions, make it solid, and just make sure that it overlaps the sides and the back of those pieces. Escape. Grab your Boolean difference tool. That's this one right here. And it's going to ask you what you want to subtract from. And you'll say these. And then it's going to say, what do you want to subtract with? And you say this. And this is what you'll get. It'll cut all of those panels right in that line work that you drew earlier. Okay. And so next thing to do is going to be, let's change this to like rendered mode. Look at that. Okay. Now this is capped up here and it's capped down here, and these are all solid still. So we can do another Boolean difference to get it to slice out all these holes. So I want to do that. I want to say Boolean difference. Select the surfaces to subtract from. That's this panel here. And I accidentally auto-clicked. Escape, right-click. This is what I want to subtract from. Hit enter. This is what I'm going to subtract with. And there you go. A nice clean set of slices right out of the model. Okay? Perfect. Good stuff. Now we can do more to that. We can go to the right view. And we can go and we can draw in some new line work. Right at the line. Okay. And this line here, we can put points on for that. Just move these around a little bit. Just like that. And then we can do a split. We'll do a split surface. Objects to split will be this. Cutting objects will be this line. And then we have this piece separate from this piece here. And we'll go to perspective. Well, let's actually do it from here. It's a fun little trick. Take this section inside here, using the gumball. Just do a little, hold down shift and just scale it in just a little bit. Using the green box down here. Okay. And then go to perspective and look at the probably shaded view. Okay. And then we can go to the right view actually. Object snap, midpoint. And grab a polyline and snap it somewhere. It should snap right into there. Object snap, midpoint, near. Here we go. Let me try this from perspective mode. Okay, there we go. And you know what I can do? I can just use a loft here. I can go loft. 1, 2. There we go. Connect that together, and then you get this cool little scalloped edge here. You know, you get this little kind of chamfered edge detail thing going on. Not exactly the way that the actual one comes out, but pretty close. So when you look at that with your rendered view, you see the difference. It gives you this little cut, makes it look cool. So that's going to be that, guys. Last step of the process, as always, is going to be to clean up your workspace and get your curves under your curves layer. Keep everything where it belongs. This one you didn't use. Okay, that's good, that's good. Hide your images. Okay. And then knit everything together, or join everything together. I need to just zoom in and do it the old way. Okay. So that's that, guys. Okay. Hey, listen, thanks a lot for watching. Good luck out there with this. It's not easy. Keep practicing. Don't forget that it's okay to, you know, keep starting yourself over if it's not working. Like I said during the video, I did this 3 or 4 times beforehand. And so that's why I'm able to pull it off so fast. So hopefully, guys, you've got good luck with it. And we'll see you soon enough. Talk to you on Tuesday. Bye.